With Battlefield 2042 firmly planted in its grave for eternity, there really isn't much to talk about in the Battlefield realm right now, but thankfully, we do have a Battlefield competitor to talk about for once, and it is Delta Force Hawk Ops. I have made multiple previous videos about this game before, except now we finally get to watch some actual gameplay for the game, and I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I am cautiously optimistic. Because the more I watch this game, the more I realize that Delta Force is probably more Battlefield than Battlefield has been for like, I don't know, 5 years, maybe more. So let's take a look at the game together. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, especially if you plan on following this game. I will be putting out tons of content, guides, weapon guides, explaining the attachments and what they do. All the things you could possibly want to know about Delta Force, I will provide to you on this channel. So be sure to turn notifications on if you want to follow basically any FPS news, but especially Delta Force. The gameplay you're watching is from the closed technical European PC-only playtest. I know, that's a mouthful. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I could not justify moving to Europe to play for about a week. I know, guys, ridiculous. I'm a terrible YouTuber. So, like I said, we're using my friend's gameplay. If you are wondering when you will most likely be able to get your hands on playing Delta Force, there is a playtest coming up on July 18th. Now, the first thing that strikes me when I watch Harvester, or really anyone play this game, is it really looks extremely similar to Battlefield in multiple different aspects. The gunplay appears to be a combination of laser beam gunplay with heavy amounts of visual recoil depending on the sight you equip. So the visual recoil is less harsh when you equip a red dot and more harsh when you equip a higher magnification scope. That is all pretty standard. The movement, at least for the character that my friend is playing in this gameplay, seems, again, very similar to Battlefield. It's more similar to modern Battlefield games like Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 2042. Some of you may think that's a bad thing, some of you may think that's a good thing, but here it is. From what I can tell, without actually getting my hands on the game yet, the time to kill seems to be fairly reasonable. It doesn't seem to be too fast, but it doesn't seem to be too slow. There is an in-game test range that my friend was messing with on stream, and he tested a bunch of different weapons, and a lot of them seem to fall between the 5 to 7 bullet to kill range, depending on where you hit people, and the damage drop-off is moderate. In fact, I would compare the damage drop-off in Delta Force to really a lot of previous Battlefield games like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. It is certainly not like Battlefield 2042, where you're going to be able to full auto people from hundreds of meters. One thing I think this game has nailed is definitely the atmosphere, right? It doesn't seem corny to me, at least not initially. Things look reasonable, right? Like, nothing's ridiculous. There aren't any insane skins running around. The way the game looks graphically is very impressive, in my opinion. And the performance, at least for the beta, is pretty good. Like, my friend was saying he was getting on his system about 240 FPS, but I think he plays in 1080p. And don't forget, when this game releases, it is going to be free to play. So we have a real deal Battlefield competitor on our hands. This game seems to be delivering on the formula that people have been asking for a long time. The weapons have accurate names. You don't have an M4 called like the Bee Sting or something ridiculous. You have a reasonable atmosphere. You have a reasonable time to kill. You have features that Battlefield players expect to be in the game, such as a scoreboard from launch and a class system from launch. When you aren't playing characters that are designed specifically to have advanced movement, the game has a more grounded feel. Things feel heavier, more realistic, weighty even. The gunplay is more, shaky and immersive, if you will, right? Things that Battlefield players have wanted. And that's funny because I have already seen a lot of criticism from people online, even without them playing the game, saying that, oh, Delta Force is just copying Battlefield. And to be honest, yeah, I hope they do. I hope they do copy Battlefield and take the good things from Battlefield and then improve on them, or at least deliver a higher quality product than what EA and DICE have been delivering for years. Battlefield needs competition, and I'm all for competition. If Tencent and Delta Force want to bring it to Battlefield and they execute this correctly and it actually catches on, then good. I hope this forces some sort of change in Battlefield. And even if it doesn't, then we have another Battlefield competitor that we can jump on to play anyway. So I really just think that Delta Force is a net positive for the genre of combined arms shooters in general. It might not scratch that Battlefield itch 100%, but from the gameplay that I have watched, it certainly does seem more Battlefield than Battlefield has been in a very long time. I said this on stream earlier today. By the way, I stream every single day. If you don't know that, first link in the description. This is sort of like what XDefiant is to Call of Duty. People got fed up with Call of Duty, and here we go. Here's an alternative. This exact same thing is happening with Battlefield now. Battlefield's been terrible for a long time. People are fed up with how things are going, and an alternative comes around. This is good. One thing I want to touch on is weapon customization, and there is a ton of it. There's stability, there's control, there's all these different stats, and I'm not sure what they do yet, but it's good to see that there is a more complex weapon customization system in this game. It does remind me of Modern Warfare Gunsmith, if you're familiar with that system, but it's different. You know, it's not the exact same thing. But one thing is for certain, with this sort of weapon customization, there are going to be a plethora of viable weapon builds you can come up with. I'm not even sure a meta will form, and that's actually good in my opinion, because it will add a sort of unique twist on things. See, in Battlefield 2042, the game has a defined best attachment meta, and using anything else is genuinely idiotic. In this game, I don't think it'll be like that. Not only do all of the sights seem to be viable, even on fully automatic weapons you can use high magnification sights. When you pick up someone else's gun, it's going to look completely different, but it might function with the same or better effectiveness. That is really cool. So I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, while I haven't been able to actually get my hands on this game myself, I am, for the first time in a very long time, actually eager to get my hands on a Battlefield competitor style game. And the best part about it is, this game has kind of come out of the blue. It wasn't on my radar until very recently, and it's free to play, so it's not like it has to be an absolute 10 out of 10 banger, but if it does turn out to be decent, and it's a great Battlefield competitor, then that's just wonderful. So certainly let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you got in the EU PC technical test, definitely leave detailed comments, if you would, about your playtime and your experience with Delta Force. And of course, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be covering Delta Force and of course everything to do with Battlefield and most FPS games that come out. So if you enjoy that, be sure to turn notifications on, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, and thank you guys for watching.